So chapter 17 was titled The Case of the Sensitive Reporter, and it basically discussed different ways to approach the game of reporting when it comes to putting out stories, how to ask the people that are involved in the stories what happened, what way to approach them, because at the end of the day, all the reporters want to do is get their job done and get the word out, but the way that they approach the scene and situation does have a heavy impact on the story. So it talks about an 18-year-old boy by the last name of Tolovic who was brought up in a pretty good family, but he kind of strayed from that and he ended up going to a mall one day and killing a few people and wounding some others. And a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune by the last name of Girk, I believe is how you pronounce it, he did a follow-up on that story. Now, typically reporters, they try to get anybody associated with the victim's family or close circle who seem to be grief-stricken in order to get a good catch on the story. But what Girk did differently was that he approached this young boy's family with a kind heart. He didn't harass them. He didn't even tell them that he was he told them that he was a reporter, but he didn't tell them that he wanted to interview them, more so just talk to them. So that is what he did. He basically just analyzed the scene, analyzed the surroundings of what happened days after the shooting occurred, and just tried to see if his family would be approachable enough, and they indeed were. They definitely invited him inside their home, and he sat down with them, and he had a very mellow conversation with them and basically found out more information because he approached them differently than how most reporters would. Surprisingly, in this chapter, there wasn't really an issue with how Girk went about performing his task. It says right here that he was sensitive to the ethical issues inherent in being assigned to interview victims. And then it also states that he thinks about people first and their feelings and sources second. And I don't see that there's any issue with that in reporting, because he did get his job done regardless, and he did post a good story that covered all aspects, but it's just the way that he approached the interviewees was a different way, and he still got the job done. One thing I really appreciate out of this chapter that I can take with me is that Girk didn't compromise his principles to get the job done. He still got it done regardless, but he went about it in an ethical way and a personal way as well that wasn't against any of the standards or the rules of what a reporter should do. And one way that I will become more ethical this week is no matter how gruesome anything looks, no matter how much I just kind of want to get over something, or just do a paper, do an assignment and get it done, or whether that be I have to tell somebody some important information that I really don't want to tell them, or just whatever the case may be, just thinking about it first, because thoughts matter before you speak. So just thinking about the situation in a more positive light and thinking, how will I approach this, instead of in a negative way, approach it positively so that it can have a beautiful outcome.